Hey folks, Wrath coming at you with another video. Today was chapter 16 of Twilight. It opened up at noon. So I want to go through what my thoughts, comments, reflections, and maybe regrets were. So let's just jump right into it. What you'll notice from the beginning is that I'm actually taking way too much time here picking teams before going in. Ideally, I should have done this the night before, but I genuinely didn't have time. And today, all the way up until start of Twilight, I didn't have access to my phone. And when I did, I scrambled a little bit to get going. So what I want this video to kind of demonstrate is that a lack of preparedness for Twilight will result in probably 2 or 3 times the amount of time that you need to complete this. Mind you, I actually didn't take that long, like 23 minutes, I think, is what it took me. But there were stages that I hiccuped on because I just wasn't prepared. Full accountability there. And so if I was, while I'm doing this voiceover of this being pre-recorded earlier today, I would have saved about a minute, minute and a half just up to this point, which is kind of crazy because that shaves off like 10 to 15% of your total time. Another thing to mention is you'll notice that I'm using assassins for the non-boss stages. This was an experiment, and I genuinely think that it was a successful one. They do a fantastic job clearing. They do a fantastic job with speed. Nobody really dies. So I'm not sure if I found my next team that will be speed clearing through the non-boss stages or if this was a fun experiment. Regardless, I think looking back on this, I should have made one change. I should have taken Bailey out for Fiona. I think that would have significantly increased the clear time here. And when I say significantly, I mean like 10 to 15 to 20 seconds off the time, which for the folks that are really trying to min-max and aim for like the top 5 positions, that adds up a lot. So imagine that you save 20 seconds across 7 stages that are non-boss stages. That's 140 seconds. 2 minutes and 20 seconds what you could potentially shave off your time if you're min-maxing. Now let's talk a little bit about the stages that I've been selecting, specifically the assassin stage, the vanguard stages, and the summon stages do really well. Here I wasn't paying attention at all, and so Kite got in front of Asaki, and he just obliterated her. So again, because I wasn't prepared and I was trying out a brand new team, this all caused a few hiccups. And I will say, I ended up third, but compared to the guy who got first, all of these little mistakes add up that result in basically him completing in about half the time, which I should be able to do. The other thing to notice is I didn't necessarily know when to hold the ultimates of the assassins. And so you'll notice that Asaki got into a little bit of trouble here. I think she actually died in my first attempt of this stage prior. So again, just adding up all that time, which is slowing me down a fair bit. I also want to note that if you guys are paying close attention, I don't have the damage bar to the left set up. I find that it distracts me, and so I've taken it down. But notice that Motoko is actually doing a fair bit of damage herself. So now that I've rambled a little bit about who I've used on the non-boss stages, I want to do a cut straight into the 3 boss stages and give you my thoughts there. So hopefully what you've noticed is I've decided to use Asaki and Fiona, and then the 3 assassins that you see, Dom, Motoko, and Rickard. And this is a fairly strong assassin team composition in general. But again, because I was rushed earlier, notice that I'm using Hagridon instead of Gabal. Gabal would have helped so much more here for the damage increase. In terms of tips for this stage, fairly easy. All you've got to do is keep an eye on the energy gain bars from the 2 mini bosses, and then subsequently, if they do start to gather a fair bit, you would attack them with your ultimates, and that would bring it all the way down. The other thing to note would be that if you're doing a fairly good job lowering those, and you just saw right there that I ulted specifically into the right one, that the energy bar went all the way down. And what I was going to mention was I would select one of the whales as a massive target if you're doing a good job lowering the energy bar. As this gets closer to the end, notice that I will hold the ultimates of the characters because I do want them to have them available at the beginning of the next round. And since I was using assassins this entire time on non-boss stages, I wanted them to have full energy as they were going into those battles. So that's why you see me holding their ultimates here instead of actually using them and moving on quicker. All right, jumping into the next stage is the tank bond. And so I've got a couple of recommendations for folks here. And I think just having spoken to a whole bunch of folks after Twilight finished, that this was the stage that caused folks the most grief. And so what the first recommendation that I want to give you is do not throw Panda with Teresh behind the enemy line. What will happen is Panda will only target the one unit that stays behind, while all the other ones will move based on their game logic into the center row and start attacking those. And so you're going to lose a ton of damage if Panda gets thrown into the back. Secondarily, I would actually say to use 3 tanks, Asaki, and Jaina here instead of Miranda. I absolutely did not need Miranda. I was messing around with this comp in PvP, but I would definitely use a damage dealer like Nord or Jaina. I've used Nord in the past. I think Jaina would be a better option. Just keep her all the way on the back row, and she will do a ton of damage to these guys. So the rest of this stage is pretty self-explanatory, and to spare you guys some time, I've put the following in 7 times the speed of what it normally would be, just to save you guys some time. What you will notice is this kind of goes all the way down to the wire for me, down to the last like 12 seconds. All right, so for the main boss of Twilight 16, stage 10 was a Hunter Bond. So what you'll notice is I was doing a whole bunch of tests. Initially, this was just to demonstrate which team compositions would be good against this. I know not all my viewers have endgame accounts, and folks often ask me questions about, which alternative team comps can you use. So I did a little bit of testing here at the beginning. Probably shouldn't have if I was pushing for first, because this next stage took me 10 minutes to complete. But what you will notice is that the Hunter team here absolutely wrecks. So using Fiona, Asaki, and then the 3 Hunters, Viserys, Arcadia, and Rebecca. So what you'll notice then for the next 10 minutes, and I'll play some music to make it easier, but you'll observe that I'm using different team compositions, trying out assassins, trying out, summoners, trying out hunters, and then ultimately settling on hunters. And how I completed this. If you guys are looking for a video, and this is, I think, maybe first or second time that I'm going to name drop another content creator who's done this flawlessly for this run. So I believe he completed stage 16 in like 8 to 10 minutes. Anyway, who I'm talking about is Red Sonja. Give him a look. Fantastic channel, to the point, and also had a flawless run this time, one-shotting 16 with his Hunter team. Oh, and final point before I let you guys go is I'm seeing a lot of folks enter the free giveaway for the gift codes that we have in the previous video. If you haven't registered, please do. I'll be keeping it open probably for another like 3 days, and let's say Wednesday evening before the new patch goes live, I'll release the gift codes there to the folks who've won it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. See y'all on the next one. Hopefully you've enjoyed my struggle here. I know I certainly didn't, and we'll firm a little bit of this up before the next one. Cheers.